Hi, you guys. Sorry for the delay. A little bit more of the delays these days. Guess it is still Mercury retrograde. I'm Leanne Holitza. I'm your Oracle reader for today. I'm coming to you from the Healing Studio in Broomfield, Colorado. Let's see. Today I've got some helpers from the store downstairs. This is green calcite. This is really good for removing old beliefs or old patterns that are no longer serving you. It's very gentle, soother. And it goes right along with the work that we've been asked to do right now, which is really kind of changing our perspectives. I actually have a coaching club starting on Thursday this week that's going to be visiting those topics. So we are also using the Amanda Ellis. She's got a new Moon Magic spray. This one doesn't have a label on it because she sent it to me before she released it. So I'm going to be ordering some of that. Let me know if you want some. Um, we did just have the solar eclipse new moon, which was very powerful and bringing us kind of a little bit of a shakeup. So be, gentle with yourselves this week. It can be a lot to switch over into spring too on our systems, for at least in where we are in the Northern Hemisphere. So anyway, if you're watching from elsewhere, hi. What's your weather up to? All right, let's see. We're going to use the Twin Flame Ascension deck for our personal readings. The way you get a personal reading is you type me please in the comments, and I will get to you in order that I can get to you in. I'm going to say hi to the bottom of the list just so you guys know. I say hi to Sam and Joe and Sonia and Aaron and Eli. You guys are down there. I know you're here at the beginning, but hang out. I'll get to you. I always do. And the messages, by the way, are really worth listening to the whole way through, anyways, because a lot of times we'll get 3 times the charm, and that'll be when the messages are for all of us. Okay. So let's see what the week brings. Starting with the Yontra deck. Okay, so there's some things that are being reflected to us that are mirrors of what we are no longer wanting to be the reflections of our reality. Now, the problem with that sometimes is that we constantly are saying no, no, no to the things, which is actually a big push to yes, 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 really. The more you pay attention to something, the bigger it grows in your space until you truly are ready to turn away from it. That's what this mirror card is saying. What's in your face that you don't want to be there? Maybe it's because you've been saying yes to it too much. Okay. Here is your helper card. Truth, choosing freedom. Tell yourself the truth about where you are. Tell yourself the truth about how you believe, what you've been believing, how you might shift your perspective in order to create a new reality. And the more you do that for yourself, the higher frequencies that you raise for yourself, the more gifts you can be to the people around you. This card action says that this week might not be, especially towards the end of the week, might not be the week of next steps. Okay. This card says take the steps you've already planned, do the things you've already planned to do, and hold on just a second because more obstacles are getting removed out of your way so that when you do make the next step, that you are feeling in alignment with it and you're doing it out of freedom and truth and not necessarily because you're afraid. Okay. All right, here's your first card. If you're watching later, thanks for watching later. If you're watching live, this is your first card. Okay, so here you go. Just tune in. Is your first card a 1, a 2, or a 3? Take just a minute. Okay, if you picked 1 for this week, you are working with the feminine twin. So you're activating your higher self. Remember that truth I just told you about. The feminine twin is about we, okay? It's about us. It's what's good for all of us. How can I highlight your gifts while highlighting my gifts? How can we all be activating ourselves into higher truths, not necessarily the lower fears, okay? So that's what you're being asked to focus on if you picked 1. If you picked 2, this week is going to be a false twin flame, and there's going to be intense change. And you can see that's the phoenix rising, right? So if you are not choosing freedom and you picked 2, you might be getting a kind of a little bit of a kind of a tower card feeling, if you will, where everything's going to be changing whether you like it or not. Okay. So just be aware of that. No need to resist. If you picked 3, you've got the Merkaba activation. So it's time to ground, shield, and protect. Probably why we have the big energies around the change is those of you that are not going through the change or have already gone through the change. Now it's time to ground into that and protect yourself from the rest of the changes that are going to go on because they're not necessarily yours. Okay, let's do this. Let's get to your personal. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And I like it when you give me a thumbs up when the message resonates. So feel free to do that as we go along here. If you want to keep track of when I'm coming live, you want to hit the subscribe button, and then there's a little bell that'll tell you when I'm going live. And next week, I'm probably not going to be live because I'm traveling, but maybe I'll do a little recording for us anyways at some point to just get us a little week review. Okay. All right, let's start with Stephanie R at the top there with the 2 hearts. Hi, Stephanie. You're going to focus this week on practicing self-love. Okay, so nurturing your inner child, and you can kind of see there is a little womb-like energy there. So go back and see how is your inner child asking for permission to be nurtured and held this week, and really see if you can do that work for yourself. Let yourself really see into the fact that, yeah, sometimes I do need to just recognize a very young version of myself is asking for love. Burnout proof leaders, you are going to be working with the divine order. Practice patience. Don't you love to hear that? Okay, so it's just time to be patient. Time to learn what patience does and how it integrates the work that you've already put in. It's like not time yet, but it will be soon, kind of thing. Jenny, you're going to focus on opening your heart. Okay, self-loving boundaries. Okay, so good boundaries are good for all involved. I saw this. It was one of the famous actresses, but I can't remember what her name is. She was talking about, like, are you just people pleasing and putting a smile on, or are you, genuinely, are you happy? And if you're not happy, are you seething inside? This kind of card is basically saying, acknowledge if you're mad at yourself for not setting boundaries this week. Okay, so where could you set some boundaries that are a little bit more about yourself? And it's good for all involved because sometimes people don't know they're violating your boundaries if you don't tell them. Okay, National Geographic, you're going to work on mystical messages and following the signs. Say, I want to see the signs. I want to see the things that are actually truly changing. I want to see the truth, and then be open to the synchronicities this week. Okay. Blossoming Lotus and Shannon. Okay, Blossoming Lotus, they doubled down on the messages. Okay, so follow the signs, but ask for the signs. Okay, so that's the second time we saw it, and they layered it in there. So that means they really want us to listen to that message. So just follow the signs, give yourself acknowledgement. Actually, I'm seeing, like, even writing the signs down. What signs did I see today that things are shifting? Shannon, you're working with feminine twin. Okay, activating the higher self. So if you picked one at the beginning, it's basically coming back and saying, yep, that's what you're going to be working on. Focusing on the we, focusing on letting everybody take their actions, not you having to do it all yourself. Okay. Kimberly, for you this week, you are working with the path of least resistance. Choose ease and grace. Okay, that's pretty simple. Just path of least resistance. If it feels hard this week, maybe don't do it. Find the things that are easy. Diane, your focus this week, breakthrough. Okay, so time to process some karmic debris. So you might start feeling that intense change that was brought up at the beginning. So really being aware that your change is, sometimes we don't love it when we're going through a breakthrough. Sometimes we don't love it when things are changing, but it's also good to really kind of say yes to the opportunity. Okay. All right. Seriously wonderful, Courtney. You're working with the electric energy, creative expression. Okay. Working with electric creative expression. The heart is one of the things that mostly responds to electricity, right? So heart-centered creativity would be good for you to be doing this week. Make it a priority. Cynthia, your focus this week is on transformation. Battle of the head and the heart. Okay. Now this is big for a lot of us right now. Is our mind wants to tell us this is the answer to something, and our heart says, hold on. Let's love everything around us. Let's raise the frequency before we use our heads to figure things out. So this week, check in with yourself. See, there was this really amazing transmission last week from the Light Council. They had us start with acceptance, and then reverence or respect, and then love, and then peace. And it was harder than to get to certain things with aspects that our mind was really caught up on, right? But this is good. It's a good practice for all involved. Okay, Heidi M. You're working with the Holy Grail. All right, let us know how that goes. What kind of codes are you going to get? Lots of journaling, lots of dream monitoring this week for you, paying attention to like your downloads basically. What's the universe trying to tell you is coming up for you, okay? Tanya. Oh, doubling down on the Holy Grail, you guys. All right, so receive the gifts. Pay attention to those signs. We'll see if these start coming out in threes. But basically, Tanya, this week is a good week to write down your epiphanies. Consult yourself, your guides just said, and make sure you do it in writing so that it really kind of shows up in your wisdom. Okay, Nicole and Addison. Nicole, third time's a charm for the feminine twin, you guys. So activating your higher self. I'm going to pull the book out just to get a little bit extra. This book's a little bit harder for me to kind of get to. So hold on just a second. So this is, well, see, it's going to take me longer than I would intend to get through the, we'll just say, let's just listen and not necessarily look through this book. Okay, so the feminine energy has to do with the collective. Think also womb energy. We're not going to force anything to gestate. We're going to let it come through as it intends to come through. Okay, this is the message for all of us, you guys, this week. Let things gestate, honor them, protect them, feed them well while they're going through their transformations, and see how you can kind of work with those around you to grow yourself, if that makes sense. Addison, you're working with I am enough. Let go of expectations. Don't be hard on yourself this week. Notice where you accidentally apply pressure that's not really there. Giving yourself an opportunity to be gentle and say, I'm enough. All right, Hannah and Isabella and Carly. Hannah, you're working with one with self and blossoming. So really being aware that you have some new gifts that are emerging, some true things that only you can bring to the world, really be in that energy. Isabella, you're going to be working with soul mating and clearing core wounds. Okay, so the people around you might be coming back to you from past lives, from other spaces where you might be actually having to kind of go back to the original soul wounds that maybe you had. Like, for example, I have a original imprint on healing being something that's not supposed to be done, right? Energy healing. I had to go back and clear those core wounds in order for me to do the work I'm doing this lifetime. So see how the relationships around you are kind of calling that to you. Carly, you're working with clearing energy blocks, activating your higher chakras, okay? So really working with the idea that there's energy trying to come almost like a download or information into you that has a lot more to do with your higher truth than what is happening on the planet right now, okay? Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, it's time for you to work on mission accomplished. Welcome home. Celebrate what's been done, okay? So don't start something new necessarily, although it is a new moon. It's really good to start something new. It's Aries. It's starting something new, but be sure you close down the projects and successes that you've already achieved so that you can take all that wisdom and alchemize it into your next project, okay? Matthew, you're working with unification, okay? So align with abundance. You have lots of different ways to be abundant. It's not about money. It's about all the things in the right proportions. Enough time with our friends, enough time with ourselves, enough time to work and play, all the things. Okay. So really acknowledge your abundance and acknowledge that it keeps coming. Okay. Robin, time to enter your vortex. Align with infinite abundance. Okay. The vortex is when we feel the highest available emotional energies. That's when we know. And it's got to be true emotional energies. You can't fake it. but truly that's when we know we're in alignment with what we're meant to create. Austin, you are also entering your vortex, aligning with infinite abundance. Okay, so you guys can do that together. You can work with, can you get content about what's happening? Can you get optimistic about what's happening? Can you get peaceful about what's happening? Get up as high as you can emotionally with what's happening. Chris, for you, you're also working with I am enough. Let go of expectations. Okay, so see where you're being kind of hard on yourself. See where you put other people's eyes as your judge and jury about whether or not you're enough, and turn it inward. Give yourself your own enoughness right now. Janelle and Donnie. Janelle, your message is the mystical messages, follow the signs. I knew we were going to get that 3 times, you guys. Look for the 333s, 444s, whatever the numbers are. This is for all of us. Follow the signs this week. Okay? Follow. All right. And Donnie, you're going to be working with sacred sexuality, accessing the unified fields. Okay. So that one-on-one energy where you're exchanging that true consent, there's a lot to be shared there energetically. One of my favorite books to check out, you guys, is it's a book called The Taoist Sexual Secrets, and it's really just about energy and how it works with that second chakra. So you might check it out. Okay. Janice, open your heart with setting loving boundaries. Second time we've seen this, it might come again, you guys. So it's good for all involved, Janice, to set boundaries. Everybody, and early and often, by the way, good early feedback rather than get angry and seethe about things, okay? Kimberly P. Okay, you're bringing this the 4th time's a charm. So feminine twin and activating the higher self. So really be aware that that's the journey that you're on, and that you want to put yourself in alignment with that, as best that you can. When we're overly singular, that's when we get into problems about, ourselves being more about we don't let other people help us when this energy's not activated. Okay. We try to do it all ourselves. And this week you can't do it yourself. You just can't. Okay. That's for all of us, by the way. Juan Carlos, you're in transformation. Okay. Battle versus head and heart. Second time we've seen this. Sync up. Ask your heart first. Get in the habit of asking your heart first. What do you want, heart? And then let the head help execute the desires of the heart. Okay. Tiff, crystal clear vision, awareness. Good week for you to really see the signs, really be in the divine feminine, really get in alignment with what are you seeing, and truly let it be true. Don't second guess it. Lisa, you want to work with the high priest energy of personal empowerment, the balance of yin and yang, the magical self that has all of the resources it needs inside itself to get moving forward. All right. Miranda Z. All right. Beyond illusion for you. Change your perspective. What you think you see may not be what's actually going on. See if you can ask to see, with the sign energy being up, ask to see the truth in a little bit more of a different way. Show me what else is happening, and then be willing to see, okay? All right. Kara and Tatiana. Kara, the soulmate energy is clearing out core wounds of the soul. So the person that you're feeling most agitated with, that is kind of bringing a lot to the surface, that might be bringing out your long-term soul issues. So be willing to listen to the lesson rather than engage in the resistance of it. Tatiana, you're going to be working on activating your higher chakras, clearing energy blocks. So you can just do that by paying attention to up here, you guys. Just a little extra awareness to what's going on up there. And then just asking for higher information. Lots of asking messages this week. Ask us to help you from the guides. All right, King of GT Carrie, you are working on unification and aligning with abundance. Okay. So this is second time we've seen this. This is like What is abundance to you? It's not all financial. It can be having abundance of space, having abundance of truth, an abundance of awareness, that kind of stuff. Okay. Taryn, soul messenger or merger, sorry, ebb and flow. So know that you kind of go in and out of your feeling connected to the divine energies, and that's okay. We're here to be separate and we're here to be connected. We're here to be separate, here to be connected. Ebb and flow. Let that ebb and flow be really, gentle and aware for you right now, kind of like waves. Christy, Kira, and Finn. Christy, third time's a charm for the unification fields, you guys. We're all going to be aligning with abundance. This is when we get this card and this message, this is a good week to sit down and even write down what makes you feel abundant. What is already abundant in your life? And what are you feeling as missing? And how can you kind of balance it out? All right. Kira, you're going to be working with the Master Alchemist, Violet Flame Activation. This literally is just a flame that you can light in your heart and grow and let it burn off anything that feels destructive or hurtful. And just notice that it brings in more compassion, more capacity to be in a loving energy with everybody. Finn, you're working with trust. Ask, listen, and allow. Okay. So trust the universe, trust the people around you, trust that the world has your back because it does. Okay. All right, I told you I was going to get down here. So Eli, hopefully you're still with me. And guess what? 4 times a charm for the follow the signs, mystical messages. Okay, so you guys pay attention. Pay attention to the birds in the sky. Pay attention to the numbers on the clocks. Pay attention to the feathers on the ground. Whatever it is that really is your symbol to the universe. And again, I'm hearing from the guides, ask us to show you and we will. Okay. Aaron. Okay, 5th time for the feminine twin. So you guys, these are the messages. When they start coming over and over, give me a thumbs up on this, that you get this, that I'm saying to you. This is for all of us. Everybody's being asked to activate the feminine twin, activate the higher truth, activate the protective boundaries of the mother energy. Okay? Sonia, you're working on healing abandonment this week. Time to forgive. All right, sending you some love on that one. That one feels like a lot, but you can give yourself some space to know that you're just ready to do it. Okay, so little time to forgive, little radical forgiveness game in order, maybe. I love that game. It's called Satori. You can't buy it; it's not in print anymore, but I have it, and we could play it. Joe, you're working with the high priest energy, personal empowerment. Okay. So really finding those things that inspire you, that help you feel it like connected to that you still have purpose, you still matter, that there's still more for you to do here. Okay. Sam, you're getting 2 cards for some reason. First, you're getting karmic relationships, releasing the past. Okay. So past hurts, people that have hurt you, time to just let them go. And then you got also practice self-love and nurture your inner child. So perhaps there's been something that has come up or what is from your past it's time to face that's been about hurts and nurturing your inner child around this. Okay. Natalie S., you are working with Voyager's Journey, past life healing. All right, so that's nice little fun journey. Kind of notice if you can see the patterns of your soul in your current life, but in the things that continue to keep coming up over and over again. Just kind of paying attention. That's going to be time to heal all those past lives. Eat 100 foods. You're working with awareness, crystal clear vision. Things are going to be a lot more obvious to you this week. So do pay attention to that. Give yourself a moment to really journey into what it might mean to see more clearly what's in front of you and not have to question or wonder. Okay, Andrea, you are working with masculine twin on top of the feminine energies. So releasing lower self. Now, this isn't saying, by the way, that the masculine is lower than the feminine. This is saying the masculine is often identified with self, okay? And sometimes if you're too identified with self, you don't let the we in. When there's lots of we's around trying to help you, be your best self. Okay. And also sometimes it's where our subconscious stores misinformation about of who we are, our identity, whatever. Okay. So I've actually got to the bottom of the list. This deck reads kind of fast, I guess. If you're still watching and you haven't asked for a card, feel free to put me please in the comments. I am going to pull a card for my husband, like I try to remember to do. Let's see what his week looks like. Okay, so rebirth for him. So this is about personal freedom unleashed. Okay, see the little chains around the wrist? Okay, so whatever has been holding you back is you get a little more personal freedom to do what you want to do. So that's good. All right, let's review what our top ones are while we wait and see if there's any more me pleases left. Okay, so remember, mystical presence, follow the sign, or mystical messages. We're also working with the unifications, aligning with abundance. Now you can see abundance coming from all different directions, not just one singular source, not a single source of income, not a single source of a relationship, that kind of thing. And then it's interesting because I'm trying to find that one that popped up a million times, the feminine energy. Let's see, she's hiding now. So we're going to be working on activating also the divine feminine, which is so interesting because she's hiding. I want you guys to think about this time period too in a different way than maybe you have, in the sense that we are trying as a collective to actually activate a higher sense of what's going on. And, a lot of things are going to come up. A lot of fears are coming up. There's a lot of expansive energy. It's not always super sweet and beautiful to change, right? I mean, sometimes, think of like, the truth about childbirth, or, what it really takes, the friction that it takes to get the energies going in a change worthy way. Okay, so activating the higher self-founded founder. Okay, so it's going to be important, you guys. I'm going to summarize this with these 3 cards together. Okay, this is a time to really look to how you can align with how your life has already been abundant, like in so many ways, and how people have contributed to that abundance, and how those people in your life that are representing your growth can be encouraged to stick around, can be encouraged to be more of your life right now. And if they haven't contributed or are no longer contributing to your growth, it's okay to set some healthy boundaries up about that. And to ask, just ask for the signs. The helpers are there. They want us to elevate. They are just waiting for us to get our frequencies high enough. And guess what? When you change your frequency, you impact everyone around you in a positive way. So giving yourself intentional frequency breaks where you're literally stepping in and saying, I choose to feel elevated. I choose to, and again, this isn't toxic positivity, because you don't want to lie to yourself. You want to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is, though, that there is higher energies available at all times if you choose them. So, we've seen people talk about really horrific experiences where they felt divinely guided or felt divinely connected, even when something really bad was going on. It's there. They're waiting for us to just acknowledge or turn to it, if you will. Okay, well, those are our messages. We still have a couple minutes left, but I feel like we got to the end here. It's actually it's already 12:31. So it's time for us to go be amazing. I'll see you later. Bye.